Got an answer.
Oh, what was the answer?
Done.
Oh.
I didn't see all the firemen on here. They paid every 3 months.
Yeah.
Just the
Just
big
the
ones.
offices and
Red
stuff
lights
that we
on.
monthly.
Okay.
And it's like very exciting. She said the bindings are bad, but Emily already bought bindings anyway, so like perfect.
And to Gary, and then the other two are for us.
Oh, boy.
Thank you, Kimberly and Rick. Sir.
Oh, I get the color one?
Thank you, sir.
It's from my office.
I need a copy, yeah, thank you very much.
Gary says, where is this
I got that, she said she printed it.
I've got
I said, it's not in the
Yeah,
box.
she printed it.
All
Alright.
Oh, I said this. So,
Hello.
Just read me. Okay. Just stays on. Okay.
United States. Figured it out yet.
If I touch this, I
I got a sandbox today. I just play in the sandbox. I think I'm the only one out here counting. So yes, I did. It was a long day.
So what is it? Red on mute? It's muted? Oh.
It's 7 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. We'll start with our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Anyone have any additions or deletions for the agenda? Not, the agenda will stand approved as presented. Moving on to the consent agenda. Got our regular meeting minutes of January the 8th, our monthly bills, the amount of $103,719.84, and our treasurer's report.
I move to approve the consent agenda, which consists of the regular meeting minutes of January 8th, 2024, and the township payroll and monthly bills in the amount of $103,719.84, and acknowledge the treasurer's report.
Support. We have a motion support to approve the consent agenda, which consists of the regular meetings minutes of January the 8th, 2024, township payroll and monthly bills in the amount of $103,719.84, and acknowledge our treasurer's report. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Moving on to the report section, start with the fire department. Don?
I believe you do have my report in front of you this month. You can see it was quite a busy little month, and the fire runs are up in the 35 range, fire runs in the 24 range. 2 extrications from the vehicles, so it was a lively month. That's really about the size of it. If you have any questions about anything, I'd be happy to answer.
Questions for?
No.
Don?
No.
Everything's still going all right on our response time with Lapeer EMS?
Yeah, everything seems to be leveled out pretty good. We did get another 2 applications for trained MFR firefighters. They'll be at our meeting next Monday night for interviews, so we'll see. We may even beef that whole MFR system up a little bit.
Good.
It's been working pretty good with Jeff and Mark and some of those folks. It's really leveled out kind of nice. Jeff is there 3 days a week during the day. He works from home, so he's decided to fire all of his home, which works out good for him.
Any update on talks with Bruce?
No, I've kind of let it slide. We haven't had too many issues. I do have a good relationship now, a talking relationship with the chief down there. He will support us whenever we call. So I guess I'd look to you guys. I don't know that I want to go to him and ask him to help me out and end up with some kind of monetary agreement for what I can ask for now for free. So you let me know.
I mean, they'll come into the township like they did out there at Boardman Road for that accident out there. They come in, yeah. We have a mutual, do you have a written agreement with them, mutual aid, or did that ever,
They canceled us when
Yeah.
Stankiewicz left and that new chief came, he canceled us. Now, we've also assisted once in the last 3 months on a fire scheme for them too. So I think it works both ways now, due to my relationship with the new chief. So I don't know, it doesn't seem broke, so I haven't tried to fix it.
As long as, we get the response time from Lapeer, that was my concern, so.
Yeah, well, you said, I think it was December or whatever, you said you were
Yeah.
going to talk to him, and then I just wondered what came out of it. But
Yeah,
I mean,
we found, for a while, we couldn't find the old agreement. So then we finally found the old agreement we had with Bruce when they provided services to us. And then I talked with them about getting the meeting set up, and it kind of slipped. And then things have been going along to where it seems like it's going to have a whole agreement.
Anything else for the chief? Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thanks.
Let's move on to the police department. Any questions or comments there?
Police report, we only get just the month of January. It doesn't have,
Starts over for the year.
right, but they don't include like the last 3 months or anything, so we can compare. It just starts over.
No, you'd have to use your old sheets for the comparison, the way this report works. Any other thing? Anything else? Go on to the assessor's report.
Been a busy month.
Yeah, and also we were able to get Tom approved from the state of Michigan so that he can actually do the training for our border review members right here. We're going to do the first one in July of this year, and the state of Michigan actually listed us on their website as a training site. So I've already got one signed up from Rochester Hills, and I don't know how many other ones we'll get, but most of the other sites all are in the January, February, March timeframe of this year for the training because of the March border review. But we're doing it right after our border review meeting in July. So we were just going to do it for our own board, and so we didn't have to send them someplace. And it has to be done every 2 years. So we got Tom
Great.
approved to do the training. So this will be his first one in July. So
Great. That's great. That's
we
great
got turned
news.
down last year, so this year
Good.
we talked them into it.
Good.
And we're going to have the Will Gast?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the
Yes.
head honcho out in Lansing, and he's going to be here watching Tom, so make sure he gets everything done. Anything else on the report you have questions on?
There was the tentative ratios and factors for 2024 included.
Yes.
Is this just giving some detail as to how much the assessments are going to be?
This is the ratio is where we have to be close to 50%.
Mhm.
And so you can see, where we are there. And I'm assuming they're going to let us stay there. Most of them are 40s and up. So the county has the final say on that. So
Okay, thank you.
Have Kim the factor, that will be the adjustment to get it closer to 50.
anything else? Okay, let's move on to our first public comment. Anyone wish to be recognized at this time? None? Okay, let's go on to our new business. Our first one is Jonathan Schuschler. He's been here before, and he wants to talk to us again about his property on Hollow Corners Road.
Hi, everyone. I'm here to talk about the water issue on Hollow Corners Road, particularly just east of Kidder Road on the north side. And the challenge is I'm looking for the township's support on getting the water, restoring the natural flow of water so the water can continue flowing off of my property. The challenge I have is the water is in the state is I cannot cross it with my truck, and it's not flowing, it's deep, and looking for the township's proposed solution on what to do. And I understand there was a pond that was put in without a permit a number of years ago, and that pond is in the middle of a natural flowing waterway. The township issued a permit for the pond after it was complete, and my question is, what is the township going to do to resolve the issue? I understand Mr. Eschenberg has some pictures.
I think there's a lot of pictures here tonight. Are you done?
Yep, I'm all done.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, this could go on. Hopefully not long.
Yep.
Gary and I went out there and checked it out one day. We walked from your property down. I think we went to beside behind Ed's place there, looked at the pond and everything, and we've seen the water. I used to farm that out there, and I've complained for many years about the water. Something needed to be done. So we did get a hold of the road commission. Paul and I were out with Jason out there. Then also Joe Israel and I went out the other day, and we looked at it from Hollow Pine Court up towards the west. When Joe was out there, there's 4 cross culverts, and even Jason looked at these from the road commission. The 4 culverts are being restricted by trees there and everything. It's my understanding that you had Ida send them a letter today.
We've already contacted, we talked to one of the residents out there, and he said send them a letter, so we did.
Yes, there's 4 cross culverts going across there that are restricting the water. So that's starting down, I think, where the problem begins. And then to come back upstream there, I believe that there needs to be some more guidance to where the water's to go. There's a fence row between Ed's and Mr. Campbell that needs to kind of be cleaned out a little bit so that the water maybe go. But one of the things when Joe and I were out there, there's a cross culvert across Hollow Corners Road that takes the water from the north side, puts it on the south side. The day that Gary and I were out there, the water was moving very fast coming down the south side of the road. But where it came across, there was no movement.
It wasn't going through the culvert.
It wasn't going through. And we measured it. It's a 36-inch culvert, which takes all that water from the north to the south. Gary and I came up and even Joe and even Ed agrees. I mean, he's lived there for 21 years, that the water, instead of bringing it over to the south side of the road and putting it across there, leave it on the north side and put a ditch down there. Because if you go down the road, just past Jessel's, there's a cross culvert that brings the water from the south to the north. Then if you go down by Joe Marshall's, there's another cross culvert that takes it from the north to the south and then down to a big ditch. So, I don't know, Jason said the other day it would cost $100,000 to ditch it, which that's a little, I think, ridiculous, but.
Till they take a look at it.
There's a ditch there, it would have to be cleaned out, so I.
Correct. And I mean, I have pictures, I went out there. I just think that before we start up like around Jonathan's there to try to get things going there, we need to go down where it's not flowing.
Well, yeah, but we can't control what Jeremy Yarborough and Jonathan spoke. And Jeremy told me that he wants to replace the 2 culverts that are under the driveway right now because he thinks they're not the right height. And also what you're talking about is he also wants to lower the pond because the water as it comes through from Jonathan's there over to Yarborough's, it floods his yard. So he wants to get that pond lowered, so he has to put his overflow tube lower. And that's only gonna, make it
Worse.
with more water.
I
So
agree.
if we can get those trees and get it moving, and hopefully Ed's property will dry out too, because Randy was out there and said that it was just, your backyard there was really wet when he was out there. So we've started the process with the homeowners on Hollow Pine. That's where we've got to start and get that cleaned out so that water can go through those tubes and go from there, work back. And I have no idea when Jeremy is going to be doing his. Hopefully we can get this done prior to Jeremy changing his tubes, because he thinks that will help with your water, getting it over to his dad's, and then it's got to go from there, on the other side of the road. But
That'll be helping Jonathan, but it's not gonna be helping Ed
no,
or Mr. Campbell.
no.
That's what we need to make sure that everything downstream needs to get flowing.
Yeah, once they get this letter, they have a maintenance agreement with their organization out there for Hollow Pine, but from what we can see, it's not very active. And so it states that if they don't do something, then the township can and bill them for it. So we're going to be watching that closely to see what they come up with. And if they don't, then we're going to have to take action.
Okay, very good. And what is the timeline on that?
I don't know for sure. I don't remember. I don't remember the timeline from in the letter to them. I want to say it was like the first part of March. We gave them a couple weeks to respond to us, to let us know what they were going to do. And but we're going to have to watch them and see. Hopefully they can do something and get in there and clean that out so we can get that water moving again.
Has the township engineer been out there to look at this?
Long time. He was out there last summer. I think Corey talked with Ed last summer.
Did he have any suggestions or solutions?
He didn't look at that. He just was looking at around Ed's part to make sure that the water was going. There's I'll call it a little swale that goes around the pond, and that's where all the water goes. And it's not a real big swale, but that's where the water goes when it goes out that way. And then it just sort of goes out all over, and then it ends up going under a Hollow Pine down below.
Did he, draft a report or anything
No.
like that? Would that be helpful? Do you think that would be something that would be helpful to you so we get an idea
We have to be careful because Hollow Pine really isn't ours. It's a private drive.
Okay.
And that's up to them to clean it out. That's the one we've really got to start with. So, we can tell them what they need to do, clean it out. Until we get that moving, we really don't know what the next step is. We've got some areas to clean out between Ed's and the Campbells there.
Right.
And if we can get that cleaned out and keep the water moving, then we'll see where we are. And in the meantime, the road commission is working on seeing what, if a ditch would work. They want to go up and look at it because they feel that it's going uphill. And without a transit, we had
Okay.
Randy's eye, and Randy's eye said it's not, so.
Well, and you have the right person looking at this, because that is not my expertise at all. So Randy's really good at this. So my question is is what you asked, how soon can this?
Well, I guess
Start.
my question is, when we hear back from Hollow Pine Court, those people out there, who's the one that's gonna go tell them what they need to take out? Joe?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because right now, that is considered an ordinance violation.
okay,
Because
okay,
they're blocking the natural flow of water.
okay.
Where does that water go east of Hollow Pine Court? Where does it end up at?
In
after that?
the drain there.
In the drain.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've seen that drain along Glover Road out there, Glover and Hollow.
Right.
Goes into the Bell
It
River
goes into
there from there.
the Bell River,
Yeah.
okay.
So we're working on it. We can we can keep you informed.
And
Okay.
tomorrow morning, Paul, Gary, and myself have a meeting with Jason on road projects for the upcoming year. And we'll bring it up to him again in the morning. Bethany, the engineer over at the road commission, apparently the message didn't get through to her when we met with him the other day.
Oh, really?
That's what Jason said, it didn't get through, so he was gonna remind her again, so hopefully he has something on that by morning.
Sounds good. Thank you.
It would be a good idea to keep a real good paper trail of all the steps. You're doing things, and you're, actively trying to find a solution, but a good paper trail would be helpful at this stage, I would think, especially for Joe, if he needs to go out there and explain who is, responsible for what. We need to have some backup.
We've got that information.
Perfect.
In writing
Perfect.
to the association.
Good.
Good.
Okay,
Thank you. And then
so we're working on.
Mike
Road
or
commission.
Ed, I don't know if either of you have anything to add.
I was just gonna say that, there's just a massive amount of water out there, and it seems like getting Jason involved would be a good idea, because the ditches do just stop there, all the water from both north and south get routed together, and then it all goes through that whole natural water course, even though it's routed there, so. it just seems
Now, that's always, like Randy said, when he used to farm, that's always been wet out there, but, over time, it's gotten
Worse.
much larger.
And Ed was the one that, he's lived there. He's seen, I've walked down the road too, but I don't know how many hundreds of acres are coming from the north side of land there that's draining across that road. If that was eliminated, I think, because the county dug the ditch out on the south side down there years ago to try to drain the 60 acres up on the corner of Kidder and Hollow Corners Road. So that's coming down through there now. So that was extra water that didn't need to come down through there, but it is. So I just think if you cut that north water off, put the ditch down through there,
We'll see what they come
we'll
up
have to
with.
see.
Okay?
Two things on that. One, does the drain commission need to be involved?
This has anything to do with the drain commission.
Because the road commission just cares about road water.
Drain-
I fought this
but
for
it says-
19 years, so.
This has nothing to do with a drain at this time, and that's all the drain commission cares about is their drains.
Right.
And if we want to make a drain, then we'd have to go through the whole procedure to go through.
Drainage district.
Yeah,
It'd be a
drainage district and
three-year
everything
process
else,
to do.
yeah. So we really hope not to have to do that, and I'm not sure how we would do it with a natural water course anyway, so.
Paul, how many culverts are on Hollow Pine Court?
4,
There's 4 there?
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's noted right on their map and everything, that those are, I forget what, it had something to do with the DNR,
Yes.
when those were.
Because it was
not even
wetlands.
noted. Yeah, with the
Who's their
wetlands.
spokesperson out there on that private road?
Scott Bold is the one we're working with, so.
So the road commission should help with the elevation of the cross tubes that need to be replaced. The driveway tubes.
So this is Randy wants to go on the other side, the north side.
Correct, but it
They're-
sounds like Jeremy is gonna replace 2, or is that?
That's in the pond.
That's up into his property, up further in a driveway going to the back.
It's like a retention pond that it's not draining in and not draining out, which would back up onto Jonathan's.
Yeah.
But if that got changed and fixed to drain Jonathan's, then it's gonna put more water on Mr. Campbell and Ed's.
Yeah,
and-
it's everybody else going down.
Yes,
so.
so
We'll keep working on it, okay?
Okay. Follow up in April?
Yeah, if not, yeah. And if something happens sooner, I will let you know. Got your number.
Appreciate it.
Let's move on to our personnel policy. Back in January, we gave everyone a copy of our personnel policy. Since then, we also sent it to our attorney. And you can see the highlighted parts in there that she actually added some things to it. So hopefully, with everything that's been changed and added, we'll be able to adopt this tonight.
I move to approve the Almont Township personnel policy as presented.
We do have a motion and support to approve the Almont Township personnel policy as presented. Any discussion now?
Effective?
We're making it today, revised and adopted. That's what's on there.
Okay.
Right now, I'd make it today unless we make changes to it. Anything?
I just had a question on
Sure.
the overtime compensation. It talks about that an employee may only work overtime only upon direction and written approval from the township administration, which is supervisor, clerk, or treasurer. Does that mean anytime, like, people are in here during off hours, like, because a lot of times I see Ida in here over the weekend and all that. Is that going to be every time she's in here, she's going to need written authorization?
This, correct me if I'm wrong, this is for the hourly employees, which I does not. Questions?
It was a lot of work. Thank you, Roberta.
Yeah, Roberta, I gotta give
She
her
did,
credit. She's
yeah.
the one that
It's a
did
lot
it.
of work.
So, if not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Now moving on to our baseball dugout discussion. Last month, I gave everybody a packet of some things that we had found in the process looking to replace our dugouts out there. And hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at this in the last month and see which way we want to head, if we want to head in a direction. In your packet, there was the kits that from Dugouts USA, and then we had two quotes, one from Classic Remodeling and the other from Superior to assemble those. And we'd be doing all six. There's two on each field. And then we also had an alternate quote put in to make it out of wood rather than metal, but with same fencing, just the wood posts and but a metal roof, and just like everything else other than the wood posts in place of the metal. And it wasn't the kit; it would be starting from scratch. So I'm going to open this up. I've spent a lot of time at it so far, getting all this information in. So I'm going to let you guys ask questions or make suggestions or whatever you need.
Well, you've got, looks like to me, like 5 different companies bidding on this right now.
Well, there's 3 kits. I'll call them kits for the material,
Okay,
and there's 2 assemblers.
okay,
So there's really only 2 that are going to put them all together, and then 3 different kits.
kits.
They send you all the materials that you need with the instructions, and then we were having those other 2.
When you look
putting it
at
together.
these, I mean, there's apples and oranges in here. You really got to go through them to compare what you're getting for the
Well,
dollar.
looking at the kits, I would, in looking at it, I would recommend that Dugouts USA one, and that's for 6 of them. It's around $50,000 for 6 kits. It's because the other one was double that, and then I had 2 of them using the Dugouts USA, and the one directly from Dugouts USA was the least expensive one.
So when do we have to come up with an answer on this?
Soon, I mean, hopefully within, the March meeting, we can make a date, a recommendation, whichever way you want to go. But I'm, looking to see what things you need to help make a decision so that I can spend the time getting that around for next month. Or do we have the information that we need right now to construct these, or do we not want to do it at all? We were going to use some of our COVID money for this. So it obviously would come from that, which we have to spend within the next, we have to have it designated by December of this year where we're gonna go with it and spend it by the end of '25, so. We need to do something with that money. And, we've got, trees that we did on Shoemaker Road, on Scotch Settlement Road, that's gonna come out of there. And, we can use some ditching money if that's what we're looking at along, Scotch Settlement Road next year or this year, this summer, if we, after our meeting tomorrow, if we decide that, we're looking at that, going further with that right now, we can use that money for that as well, so.
So you're looking for a decision by March meeting?
I'd like to have March meeting. If you've got all the information you need right now, that's fine. If you need information, let me know and I'll go to work on it.
Okay.
So would there be 6 dugouts or 8
Six.
dugouts? I
Six
thought I said
dugouts.
different, okay. And
2 on
are,
each field.
Okay.
3 fields.
and are you looking at the steel or the wood? I thought there were 2 options.
There's 2 options. So the wood one is just an alternate volume that
Mhm.
they've just turned into us. We didn't ask them for that. They just did it.
Okay.
And so if we decided that we wanted to go with wood, I would definitely want to go to get a couple more quotes on it.
Okay, are you leaning toward the steel structure though?
I sort of like it, but it is very expensive.
That's this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And we can make it look just like that, except it would be wood posts. So, and the metal roof and the chain link fence is still the same. So, it's just the post that would be different if we went with the wood.
well, as far as maintenance, my thought is just do something that's going to be the least maintenance. We want it to look nice for a very long time. And has the baseball organization, have they looked at this? Do they have a preference?
the same information that you have, and we've not met, as you know, we haven't met
Right.
recently, we haven't been able to, but they're the ones that suggested we replace the dugouts, and that's the size they were looking at. One of the
Okay.
big things they want is a cement floor,
Right,
which our current ones do not.
but they're leaning toward
They
this one,
haven't
or
said
they?
when- they don't even know anything about, other than, we haven't even discussed the wood one.
Okay. Well, I think it's a great use for the money,
Yeah.
for the ARPA funds. This is a great use. So, okay. Thank you, Paul.
I have some questions.
Go ahead, Randy.
So the dugout there, it's about $50,000 for 6. Right? So Superior Contracting has submitted a thing for the erection of it, which is $6,400.
Per.
Huh?
Per.
Per.
Times 6.
Just for the erection?
Yeah.
Right.
And classics is 41,000.
Oh,
Superiors would be 38,730. 38,730.
It's with the cement floor and cement pillars to put the metal, assemble the metal on.
So scratch that idea.
Would have been an easy answer.
So,
wouldn't it?
what's that?
It would have been an easy answer.
Yeah, so then the one for 70,000, that's wood frame,
Correct.
if we go that way.
Yes,
And that included all the cement and everything too,
yes,
and tear down the other one.
yes. You remove it, get rid of the debris.
And installing the chain link fence that's
Yeah.
got to go around it, which is not included. in The price of the fence is not included in either of these.
sorry. The fence is not included in any of these?
The chain link fence that goes around the
Purchasing
back
it.
side of it,
Just on the back.
and then we would put a windscreen, it'd be like on a chain link fence, we put a windscreen on it so that they, see everybody in there.
What's the average lifespan of these? I mean, is it going to last 20 years?
I think the ones that they're at the school right now, I mean, we've owned those fields for what now?
Okay.
8-9 years, and they've been there a long, long time.
Gotcha. Okay.
I
Okay,
can't tell you exactly how long they've been there, but a long
Okay.
time.
so this will last a long time.
Should be
Okay,
longer than we're here in this office.
gotcha.
Were there any contractors that were interested in doing like pole construction type deal other than classic?
Do what again?
Like build it like a pole barn, like a lean-to, right? Because essentially that's what this is.
No, basically, we gave them the picture, and that's really what when the Little League looked at it, that was what they were, sort of leaning towards that appearance.
Sure they are.
So, well, they had no idea what the cost was until we got them in here. So.
Right. But it's near $100,000 for everything.
I would not have thought dugouts were so expensive.
It seems like we could get that a lot cheaper if we went with Larry Malberg or Orchard Construction or one of those that could do it like similar to a pole barn. Wood poles, they could
That's
even.
that's
flat
why we're
around it.
talking about it now. If you've got something you want me to go and look at and get some prices on, I will start on that.
Okay. I'll send something over.
The biggest thing is trying to find people to do the work. It was like
The
pulling
biggest
teeth to
thing
get
is
this
$100,000.
up.
That's the biggest thing.
And I would like to, I'm curious as to what the baseball organization, what they are, going to prefer. So we kind of
I
have
know
a
what they're going
focus.
to prefer.
This beautiful one
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I get that. Okay.
I can tell you.
The beautiful one?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
I'm the current president.
Oh, there he is,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm
all
the
right.
current president of Almont Youth Baseball. When we started meeting with Paul and Kim.
Yep.
And I believe Roberta, back in the fall, they came to us, asked to come up with some ideas. We did. We do prefer the metal for longevity, just like Kim said, low maintenance. Will it last 20 years? I didn't think it would. And the cement pads for the dugouts, it's just for, the rain. Right now it's all dirt, gets quite muddy. And it's, to help the kids, stay dry, when we get the rainfalls and whatnot. So yeah, we're really excited for it. I know the whole community is excited for it. We've passed that idea down to, the parents and the ball players. So, we really hope that you guys can come to a decision to get new dugouts out there. The current ones are in really, really bad shape. I don't want to cut out there. I mean, the benches and the dugouts are coming off. We're constantly trying to put them back. There's, nails sticking out everywhere. I mean, it's a hazard.
How soon can these be installed once we make a decision?
No idea. Haven't talked delivery yet.
Okay.
And those prices,
And it all depends on what we go.
the prices were from 23.
Yes, I got them last fall, I think it was.
So Paul, you're leaning towards what, the Dugout USA?
If we go metal, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, can I get a copy of that?
I emailed it all to you, but I can get it to you again.
These don't include benches though, do they?
No, I
There's no
Um,
benches.
I didn't see that in here.
don't think there's benches in there.
So
And they, normally we just, did they have the portable ones in there now, Rob?
Right now, it's just, I'm assuming years ago, whoever just built the wood structures and the benches are kind of built into the structure. And even last year, like, we tried to fix the one because the middle of it was caving in, and when we went to fix the center post, we found out it's not even in the dirt. It was literally just sitting on the ground, it's not even.
And most of them, we just put like this aluminum, that way then those can be replaced. If something happens to them, they probably won't last as long as the structure will.
How much do we have in that account?
Around right now we haven't paid for the trees yet. But that's going to be about 60,000. So we'd have roughly $140,000
That's what we have, okay,
net of the trees.
gotcha, okay.
Because that invoice should be coming anytime.
So these prices are strictly the dugout, it's not the bench.
And no fence.
So the companies that are the benches? Is that what are just?
Well, I don't,
Well, I think
Let's get a price on the benches as well.
your prices are from 23. If we want benches, why don't you call and get an updated price on these dugouts
With the bench.
with benches in it?
you want permanent benches then?
Well, if it's gonna be,
If it's a metal structure and you put a metal bench in there, you're done.
Yeah, you don't want a bench that's movable in there.
No, because-
All right.
that would be mounted in, down to the Smith.
Right.
They don't have anything to do with the fencing, so we gotta get a hold of another company to,
Well, it's just chain link fence, so you can buy that.
I would think either the companies that they would bid, I mean, I know one at least would
Yeah.
pursue the other to do fencing if it was.
One of them, I think it was Superior, said they actually have fencing that
okay.
left over from what they did out.
And
there.
also too, I'd like to see, Midwest Construction out of Emily.
I sent them everything. So.
Yeah, I know you sent it to them, but, maybe give them another heads up there that, are you interested at all? If not, let's move on.
So we want to have the permanent benches. And then with the chain link fence, what else? Is there anything else that you want to add in there? And I'll double check on the quotes.
Because these quotes were,
The cover, you said the cover that's gonna be behind them, some kind of a cover or something?
The windscreen.
Windscreen.
so in the dugout one there, it says freight $2,000 to grow seal.
Yes.
Why is it going there?
I didn't even question that one yet. I gotta find that out too.
Maybe tell them that you're from Almont, we want it to Almont, we don't want it there. I mean, because there's gonna be, somebody's gonna have to go get it and get it over here then, and that ain't gonna be cheap.
Oh, what are you doing? Okay, anything else? I got my work to do then, okay. Good enough.
It did say that it's a 40-year finished warranty on all hardware too. So it should last 40 years.
I won't be around. Okay, move on to our second public comment this time. Anyone in the audience wish to be recognized at this time? Yes, sir.
My name is Dennis McCarthy, and I'm running for probate judge. The position that's going to be vacated by Justice Scott because he's being aged out. And so I'm just here to introduce myself. And I live in Lapeer City, and I practice law out of my building that I own, which is catty corner to the White House in Metamora. So I got some petitions here to sign. I need 400 signatures. I'm almost there, but so I'm here to grovel.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be recognized? Okay, let's move on to our correspondence. Just to keep everybody in the loop, I think everybody knows that Jackie's off on sick leave. She's been off, and she'll be off probably at least for this week. And because they told us 2 weeks to start with there, and that this will be the second week, and then we'll have to see what the plans are. But she's been in the hospital for some time, and
It's been probably 4 or 5 weeks already since she got sick and left.
yeah. But the last one we heard was for 2 additional. Yeah. So we're right now. Ida is still taking care of the building department at this point in time, but we have no idea right now at this time what Jackie's plans are, if she will be capable of coming back or not. We'll have to find that out. Just keep you in the loop. Also, I don't know if you've heard about it yet, but the village council is looking for input on the social district that they're proposing for uptown, opening that up for 7 days a week. And it's all on the village's website. They've got or I think it goes to the DDA website, but they've got the link on theirs. If you're interested in reading, they're looking for the input. They're going to be looking at this week from tomorrow night at their meeting. And so if you're interested, the information is there, and they're looking for input, yay or nay, and any comments that you may have, and so on and so forth. So if you'd like to do that and it's open to all township and village residents.
I think their meeting got moved too.
It's at the fire hall because of our early voting. It's at the fire hall next week. We've already got that set up for that, so. Other than that, that's all correspondence I have. Board discussion, we have any discussion we want to?
Just want to bring up that drawing.
Oh, the one for, Randy contacted American Tree out here when they've put together a sketch, where we trimmed or cut the trees out of Scott Settlement Cemetery there. We were looking at doing some sort of a planning or whatever. I'll just pass that around, let you take a look at it. See what everybody thinks about doing, something like that. It would, it's not a lot of large things or anything else. It's more just to make the front of the cemetery look a little nicer. But,
What if we put up just a little fence around the front of it instead of the trees?
I don't know if they're trees, they're more like bushes.
there's different.
There's a list of stuff there because I didn't know if this had to be a bidding process or whatever. There's no numbers on there. The position of all those are just kind of tentatively there until we figure out where the grave sites are, because we don't want to intrude on any grave sites. So everything could be shifted if need be. But
It's all low stuff. There's the trees are 6 feet tall, the 5 to 6 feet
and
tall.
everything would be flowering throughout the summertime. There's different stages there that it would look. There would be something flowering.
I drove by there this weekend, and it does need something. It looks very bare. So thank you for doing that. American Tree always does a nice job. And I agree with Roberta, we need a fence or something in the front because, yes.
That would look nice.
Kind of like
Yes.
along Kidder Road. I agree with that too, yeah.
You know, the wood fence, you mean, the split rail fence?
Something decorative.
Something that you can mow around easy and
Right.
maintain and.
That would spruce it up, right?
Right. And with some plantings and the fence, I think that is the right thing to do.
So the fund for Scott Settlement Cemetery, it's like 50,000 or whatever.
Yeah, it's like 45 or something.
Yep.
Is that kind of has it been self-supportive? Does it maintain that balance, or is it diminishing over time? Right, because that looks like that's mulched beds and shrubs and maintenance and that kind of stuff versus a tree in the ground that's gonna grow for 40 years before somebody else cuts it down.
Yeah, the money in the trust that we've got, that's still there.
Mhm.
And
39,000.
Didn't it start out about 50?
no, it was a
No,
little
it was
over.
45.
It was
I believe,
40.
45.
Okay.
It's 43 now.
So the sale of the graves and stuff is not supporting the
No.
yearly maintenance
No.
of it, so
Cemeteries aren't usually a moneymaker,
I know that.
so, but,
But how fast are we blowing through the money?
right,
Well,
right.
it rolls over to us after that. I
Yeah.
mean, just like Sand Hill and Webster. I mean, we pay for that out of our general fund. So eventually that's what's going to happen with this as well.
So if we got something simple, like I'm saying, like if we just got a fence, nice looking fence and maybe one or two little trees or something, and it doesn't have a lot of maintenance instead of flower beds and everything, because you got to keep that up. Then we're gonna
That would be my only
cost more
concern
for
is the
that,
maintenance, right?
just ideas.
Mhm. It would be nice to get it rolling, so it could be done this spring yet. Get it
We
in.
don't have any prices either, so we don't know.
Is the construction on Scotch Settlement, will that disturb that area?
No, it'll be out of the right of way.
Okay,
All this would be out.
This all, yeah,
Out
this
of
all
the-
has to be
okay.
on our property.
There's not a lot of distance there between the right of way and
No.
the first.
No,
I
and that's
just-
why what Randy said, we've got to see where those some old graves out there in the front. We just got to make sure we stay away from those. So that's just a thought that, we had and take a look at it. We can,
yes.
If somebody has something, I mean, let's get some ideas in so we can get going by spring on this thing, if that's the direction.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't think
agreed.
the road commission's finished out there either. 'Cause there's
no,
still-
they're
there's
going
still
to
a lot
come
of
and smooth
debris.
all that out in the springtime this year. And then there'll be some slight, small amount of ditching on either end of the cemetery, not so much in the middle because that's the high spot.
Maybe what we could do tomorrow to Jason is to mark the right of way out there in front of that cemetery with some stakes. So we know
Mhm.
Where it is.
where to stay.
Good idea.
Okay. Any other discussion for tonight?
Well, if there is no other, I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
We have a motion support to adjourn. Any discussion? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Push the red light, would you, Gary, please? Turn it on. Thank you.
You're still on, so am I.
Well,
Welcome. There you go. Spin it all on
You
time.
didn't hit it.
Kevin, next month,
Kim, when you were talking tonight, when you were talking, it sounded like you were right next to me.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm like, what's you over here?
You sounded like you were coming from over here.
Yeah.
Here, Kim.
Oh, you know what?
That was lit up early.
Hey.
No problem.
Oh. I'm in trouble.
People will recognize you.
Oh, Mark.
Gary.
Are we on or off?
We're trying to get it off, but it seems like it's froze up.
Or Jenny.